What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to Daily Fantasy. What is up, guys? Welcome to another quickie. We apologize, no uploads yesterday, but yeah, we're back. My name's JJT with Komish. Komish, how's your leagues so far? Last week for fantasy benchwarmers leagues, last week of the regular season, midway or 3 more days.
I think I'm out in one. I'll be out in one of those leagues. The 5 are sure in. The one I'm ninth right now. So if everything ends up the same way, I'll be ninth. But I'm a few games away already from the 8. So that might be that's the one that I lost because of Nasrid, the 1-7 thing that hurt. In the other leagues, I'm already out in our invitationals, so that's done. But the others are not yet ending. In our own leagues, I think I'm out of there also. So
the own leagues, which usually are the higher buy-in leagues. I'm making a late surge in
not enough.
a lot of that, but it's not enough because in our league, like in our long time league, it's top 6 only. If it was top 8, I would have had a chance because our playoffs start week 21.
Yeah.
So I have another week to go there. But that dynasty league, I'm very disappointed because now I'm making a good run when Kawhi started playing better and all, but I'm way too far behind. I had lots of injuries there. I had Chris Middleton not playing, Kawhi, of course, those are big names who hurt me early in the season, but now starting to pick up. That's why I've racked up some good wins here.
I'm the same with you. If it was top 8, I'm in both leagues. I'll be 7th in one, and actually might be 7th or 8th in the other. So I'll be in the lower end. But I like my dynasty team. But
because you have Jokic and
I'm one.
Who's the other guy? You have
Jokic and Haliburton. But it's just unfortunate because Jokic has 2 games now. Haliburton is injured. Valanciunas is injured. So it's just the wrong time for that to happen. Plus the fact that, I'll just say it here, our dynasty league, there are some managers who have not been active. So I'm trying to catch up with the 6th, 5th, 4th, but they're against those managers. So they're getting 8-1s. And
that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I'm winning my matchup against a team that is strong, like top 3, top 4, but it's just 5-4. It's not going to be enough. I need to go to 8-1 to just match the 8-1 of the others because they're against those teams. So the schedule came to play. When I saw their schedule, I saw, okay, it's really hard for me to get in. That's just the reality of it.
In the 16-team league I am in, I'm against the top team there right now. I'm currently 7th, I think, but it's really close. I think the 6th place to around 11th, there's still chance for everyone. Like, it's just a few games, 3 games, 2 games difference. But the other teams I'm against for that spot are against the last place teams, the last 15th, 16th, 14th place team, and then I'm against the first place team. The good thing for me is that my opponent had Jokic. So at least he has only 2 games. The bad thing for me is that I had LaMelo there, which means I also lost my first round player. But so far so good.
We haven't talked much about schedule. We've talked schedule of players, but we've not talked much about schedule of your team against who you're against. And that is a bigger factor for me in fantasy because in head-to-head fantasy, that's a bigger factor than anything else because you can have a really, really bad week. But if your opponent also has a bad week, you'll not be blown out like 4 or 5. But if you have a good, decent week, but your opponent's just really hot, you can go 0-9 or 1-8 easily. And then especially at this last few weeks before your playoff starts, it's really, really irritating when you look at your schedule and you're against the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It's really irritating because it's going to be a dogfight. And then
also the biggest issues has always been, the last, if you're one of the,
Last
let's
place.
say, yeah, the last place teams, right? You're, let's say, eight, and then there's you're against the nine. You are not against the ninth place team, but the ninth place team is close to you. But that ninth place team is against the last place team,
Yeah.
who's not fixing the lineups as
Yes.
much.
Yes.
Right? So he can win like a 7-2 or a eight
Not can win.
one.
Almost guaranteed to win seven
Well,
two six
well,
three at the
depending on the
very
makeup, of course,
well,
your
very
field
least
goal,
6-3.
your free throws as well, your
Yeah.
turnovers. But that can be a factor,
That
right?
is a
So,
big factor. Yeah.
and that's why some managers in that 16 team league I was talking to you about, there are some managers who are pushing the last place teams to, hey, update your lineups, make a move. We don't care whether you add or not, just play your players. Because there was one team who was, I think he was 14th already or 15th. He has KD in his IL. He has, some top guys. It's so hard to figure out who to drop. His team is actually strong, but I think there were some misfortunes. So now his KD is not activated. So the other managers are telling him to activate that KD
Yeah,
so that
that's one thing you have to do at this late stage. You have to mind the matchup of the other teams. Maybe week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't care about their matchups. But now you have to know the matchups. If you're close, if you're at the 8, 9, 10, you have to know their matchups. You have to look at how their matchups are going, why it's going that way. And sometimes it's not against the rule that you talk to that manager to, hey, play your players, just play
yeah,
your
just
players.
update.
Or maybe if that manager doesn't care, like give tips. Like maybe you can pick up this player. That's not against the rule in my book. That is also still playing to win. Trying to give him some tips so that he will, okay, I'll just add this player. So maybe I'll be
Just
stronger in this
don't
victory.
make any crazy, well, trades or whatever. I
No,
think
no, no
that's,
trades. No trades. Just add drops. Just add drops. And
yeah,
this late in the season, trade deadlines are usually over. So just add drops, just reminders for them to play their players. But there's some teams like in our Dynasty League, and this is very, very true, especially for very deep leagues. 18 team, 16 team. There are a lot more teams that are out than teams that
yeah,
are in contention.
yeah.
I mean, there are a lot. There are a lot
Yeah,
of
because
so
imagine 18 teams, only 8 goes in.
yeah,
10 teams are out, right?
yes,
If you're in a 14 team, there are more teams that's gonna get in, especially if you don't have a bye week, right? 8 teams over the 6 teams who will be out.
yeah,
Another case in point here is that there's one league in FBW league wherein for the whole season or for majority of the season, I thought I was not gonna make it. Now today, I'm leading 8-1 and I have a chance to even make it to six. And I've really catch up there in terms of the games behind. And I never really expected when I was looking at my lineups, I thought, I think there are two leagues where I'm not going to make it. And these are the two leagues. But one league there today, just because of today, this week, I have an 8-1 already not secured, but I looked at the games of my opponents. They're really lesser than my games. Although he's been playing the players, but there's just less. Plus, he's already eliminated as well. But at least he's playing the players, right? It's just so happened that his team has lesser games because of the schedules. So I can get lucky and just make it there, right? So
yeah,
that's how important some of these matchups are, some of the schedules are, and if we're talking about, we've been talking about playoff schedules, but I think also as important are the weekly schedules that we look at, right? Because even if you're not yet in that playoffs, but these things matter as well, especially towards the end. And it's also exciting. I think me trying to catch up on those things makes it exciting for me because I thought initially, this is not a good league. I'm probably not gonna make it here, and then suddenly you realize, oops, wait, I still have a chance, right? I still have an outside chance, and that excites you a bit, in terms of gives you some adrenaline rush in trying to make it. So hopefully everything works out. Let's talk about some headaches since we're talking about headaches already. We can just start well quickly. KD, played the last game. How many minutes did he play? I didn't notice.
25 minutes.
Which is not bad. 25
It's
minutes not
it's
bad.
enough. It's enough. If you
25
own,
minutes of KD is good enough.
that's enough. Yeah, that's good enough.
So if you held on, if didn't trade, or if you are there in the playoffs, I think this is a welcome
And I
addition.
think we should just add Steph Curry here just quickly. Coming back this Monday, Manila time. So the last day of week 19, just in time for week 20. So that's also good news. Just in
Yeah,
time. Just
yeah,
in time.
just in time. Just we would have wanted it a little earlier. Like this KD thing, this is just perfect because 25, and he played 25 minutes, which is a lot for someone who's got
And
probably minutes restrictions.
yeah. And then Devin Vassell came back today. Trey Jones came back today. KPJ and Jalen Green came back the past few days. So that's four players who have come back. I think if you're gonna ask me, though, of those four players, Devin Vassell is the only one I'm confident about. I think KPJ and Jalen Green will be headaches. Should be part of the list we're gonna mention going on later, because even if they're back, I don't know how healthy they are, how good their conditioning is, and considering how inefficient they are already, this can get really ugly, which we saw with KPJ yesterday,
Yeah,
and we saw with Trey Jones today. Usually very efficient guy, and limited minutes really did play well.
yeah. Let's start maybe with KPJ and Jalen Green, and maybe we can add Jabari Smith there.
Oh man, so
Um,
start with Jabari.
it's I think right now when you're closing into the playoffs, I think it's easier to drop these guys if they're really
Yeah,
killing your
yeah,
fantasy, your field goals.
yes.
I think that's the biggest issue here. The field goal, they're not helping as much already in other categories. Plus, they're gonna kill your field goal.
Ja-
That's I think easy drop.
Jabari is 38% the whole February, and even I think January,
And
38%.
he isn't contributing anywhere else.
Yeah, he's averaging 7 rebounds and 1 block. So yeah, there's 1 block, but I mean he's a center. That's not like that's not hard to, if it's like 4 games, that's just 4 blocks.
Yeah,
So I mean 3 points, what? 1 point something. That's not a lot. Also, you can get that from the waiver. For me, Jabari is a clear drop. If you're not in a dynasty, I'm okay to drop him. I'm okay to drop KPJ as well. Jalen Green has played okay the past 2 games when he came back. So okay, maybe I'll give him that. KPJ, I'll give him a couple more games, but I'm not that confident in him as well. So, but Jabari is the one that I'm really irritated about. I think he should be dropped.
I
Jabari.
think it's been a long season for Jabari. I think we've waited 19
Uh,
weeks too long. 19
yes,
weeks too long.
yes, true. This was a big miss. Big miss. Never saw that he'll be like this. I thought he's gonna improve as the season went along, but never came.
The guy to own, really, the rookie to own is Jalen Williams,
Dylan Williams, yeah.
who I said I think, will be the future of those boring players. Um, his game is very fantasy friendly.
Yes.
I can see the stat set similar to the peak Tobias, peak Chris Middleton. Like I've said, those guys are boring players, but have always been consistent before. Not the Middletons and Tobias now, but I think he can be that guy.
Actually,
Fourth round, third
I
round.
see him in terms of being boring, maybe, but in terms of stat set in fantasy, he's not like them, but he's more of like, let's say, a younger Nick Batum kind of a guy. The way he can contribute without scoring, the
Mm-hmm.
steals, the blocks, the assists.
Yeah.
So something like that. So that's why, yeah, he's very good in fantasy. So he's gonna be a very fun player to own in the next few seasons.
Yeah. So I think that's the guy that should have been owned up. All the rookies, I think it all boils down to him, Jaden Ivy, Kessler,
Kessler,
and maybe Banquero. But yeah, Banquero is another
nah,
headache.
he's a headache. 1 out of what, 38? I think 1 to 39 the past, I don't know, and counting. 1 out of 39. I mean, I haven't even seen a stat like that in a long while. And he doesn't, it's just empty stats. As of now, it's very empty stats. Like if we're against Maturin, I think Banquero's the same thing. It's been a little empty stats for him.
Yeah, and ironically, they are the top two, rookies in that rookie of the year. This batch
Yeah.
of rookies at Prague are some of the not really, not all are bad, but probably
In
one of the worst
fairness,
fantasy wise.
they do have Kessler who has been top 30 for the past months or so. Jalen Williams been there. So there are and Tari Eason, I'm
And
still hoping will
Duran,
be unleashed. And Duren, although he's been victimized by the tanking of Detroit. But yeah, there are some who have potential. No, but just not the players we thought would be the players who have potential. We were hoping for Keegan,
yeah.
another headache. So there it's just a different players stood out.
We've been
This
comparing Keegan and Jabari, but I think at least Keegan gives you some good games here and there
Yeah,
from time
that
to time. And he
yes.
doesn't hurt you as much.
In field goal. If you owe Jabari, your field goal just sucked. And looking back, I have you said I have Jokic in our dynasty league. The reason why I might not make the playoffs is Jabari. Can't drop him. It's a dynasty league, but he's killing my field goals. I'm elite
Don't
player in
play
field.
him.
Yeah, that's something that came to in my mind right now. I should not have been playing him. Like last week, I lost by 0.03 in field goal. I was
No,
fifth.
but I think that's I think your other players might be bad as well in field goal.
No, no, my players. I've been losing close field goals in the 50% range. I'm good in field goals. I've a good field goal team because of Jokic, but I just lose by a little bit for a lot of weeks. And I feel like it's so irritating. Now I'm looking back. Who's my player there? Oh, Jabari. And when you look back at it, if I didn't play Jabari, I could have won field goal. It didn't help me in any other categories because I'm weak in blocks. So yeah, that's really something. Looking back, I should have done. Just bench
Um,
him.
Other
Well,
headaches, Kyle Lowry. Well, I
drop
dropped
him.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, drop him.
In I think all of my leagues already.
Yeah.
Um, no,
Well,
there's nothing there. Like I don't think he's gonna
uh,
play
even
anymore.
if he plays, I mean, what's his role? Like, it's just not worth it. If you don't have an IL, just drop him. It's as simple as that.
Bobby Portis is in the list.
I dropped him in our invitationals today. Uh, I've seen him in our FBW leagues, two or three, and I can't blame them. The past 2 days, 17, 2 games, 17, 16 minutes, none, 4 points, 2 rebounds.
Who did they add?
Jay Crowder. They have
Yeah.
Jay Crowder, Giannis is healthy, Brook Lopez is healthy. If Middleton plays, it's just too much
Yeah.
players. They even added Mayers Leonard, and they've been blowing out teams. So now even in the blowouts, it's not Portis time. They have Leonard, they have Mamu, there's so many players there. So yeah, just not in the cards for Portis.
RJ Barrett is probably one of the more owned player.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's just not been there.
I've never owned an RJ Barrett. All of these guys, I think I have KPJ and Jane Green in Roto, but which is bad, right?
Which is bad. It's even worse.
I knew it when I drafted them. I just wanted to have some stock of them. But yeah, anyway, RJ Barrett, I've never drafted
Yeah.
this guy, so it's really never my headache. But yeah,
His headache.
he's always every year happens to him.
Never had RJ Barrett and never will until I see something good out of his game. Yeah, he gets you 30 points sometimes, 40 points sometimes, but that's even lesser now because of Brunson and Randall. So even that is not as appealing anymore. He has those, but very, very rare. Now it's like 16, 17 minutes and no steals and blocks. Just look at his stats, no steals and blocks, and then hurts you in field goal. Somebody who is similar, but at least won't hurt you as much as the Andre Hunter of the
Mhm.
Hawks.
Yeah.
Similar, but at least the field goals are decent. That's why it's okay. Add him. It doesn't hurt you as much. Barrett, not the same thing. So, yeah, for me, he's even a drop.
And lastly, last headache, Kevin Love. Well,
I think you can drop him. No, I just
not the high upside player. I think a lot, a lot of there are a lot of players in the waivers that are worthy of
Yeah,
being picked up. Even as a streamer, as a solid streamer, I mean the Tillmans. I mean you can use him 1 game, 2 games maybe as long as Adams is out. He's been getting the minutes, right? I've seen some. Who else? There are a lot. I think Reeves has already been owned,
yeah.
but I think the Lakers, you have to watch closely who gets a more consistent role, like the Troy Browns, because LeBron's out,
I
right?
think
Those guys you
in the
could use or
Lakers,
stream better.
yeah, I think the Lakers is Austin Reeves number one. No,
Yeah,
Troy Brown is hit or miss. Very hard to trust him, so he's more of a streamer. And then maybe Jeremy Sohan, but I think he's not available.
hey,
Jonathan
he's been
Kuminga,
dropped in a few leagues.
yeah, pick him
So
up. Pick Sohan up, pick Kuminga up. I think these two, especially Sohan, longer time frame of value. For Kuminga, as long as Wiggins is out, I think Kuminga will still be okay. Like he's been helpful. No, another player just to add to the headache is Gary Trent, who is part of
yeah,
the headache
well,
today.
yeah. Now that you
17 minutes. He's the guy who, as I said, he's the guy they would put out of the starting five when they're all healthy. They're all healthy now. So that's not good. Not the perfect time for this to happen.
yeah.
They became healthy on week 19. So now, Trent
No, it's
owners,
it's
if this
not really
continues,
it's not really the
yeah,
health. It's really more of Jakob coming in, the
Jakob,
trade deadline acquisition. I think that
yeah.
killed his fantasy value. Is he a drop
And
though?
is the last game he was off the bench, he was okay. Today he was not good in
He was
17.
bad today.
Just one game. So no, he's the steals, and Trent is good. Trent is a good player. I mean, he's body healed like in his 3 pointers and some steals. So I think there will be bad games, but I think he's too good to be like this. And I don't trust the Raptors to be healthy. That's number two. So I think you just hold on for now. There would be good games that will make him worthwhile. Potel, though, yeah, been really good. I mentioned his stats in Toronto: 16-9, 2 steals, 2.4 blocks, 80% field goal shooting. And imagine, I think he's the biggest winner of the trade deadline. Imagine before the trade deadline, some people were even thinking of dropping him. And he was the
Right?
biggest headache because the Spurs might be tanking. He will get rested. And look at where he is now. Look at where he is now
That's
with them.
that's one of my problems in one of the leagues, the Buhay Basket League. I suddenly became a little stronger because of Potel, because of the
Total.
mix of the players there, right?
Yeah.
Of course, when you make a draft, you strategize what type of players you're gonna get there. Now I'm up like 8-0, 9-0 in a fifth seed against a fifth seed team. Unfortunately, I'm way out. So the chances of me getting in are not as good. But the
Yeah.
timing of Potel, a little too late.
If it happened a little earlier, it would have been.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe a couple of weeks earlier.
yeah, yeah.
It would have
But
been a
but
big help.
well, Boto's been great. Boto's been great.
Uh, yeah. Just wanted to throw out those headaches. Any players you want to talk about?
No, we mentioned most of them so far. So yeah, I think I'm
Um, Jimmy Butler, you're not gonna add it to the headache.
yeah, he's a headache. But I think you guys are tired of us talking about him already. He has a sore knee, probably gonna miss tomorrow's game. I hope that's it, but let's see. Let's see. But it's not a surprise anymore with Jimmy Butler. The only thing that I'm a little bit comforted by is that the Heat are not really top team. They're struggling. They're seventh.
Yeah.
So I think if Jimmy can play, he will try to play as soon as possible. No, maybe he misses a game or two, but he will not miss a month. Hopefully, or weeks. Hopefully, so that's my hope.
All right. So yeah, that's it for today's quickie, guys. If you want to read more about these stuff, it's on our Facebook page. Follow us facebook.com/fantasybenchwarmers. And yeah, this one you could always get. This episodes you could all the quickies you can always get in our YouTube channel and on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe, guys. Follow us, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, and all the links there in the description. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a weekend, guys. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.